Radiation exposure is a very real risk for astronauts. Ailments such as cataracts and many forms of cancer can be directly attributed to high exposure levels. Because most of our recent astronauts have remained in low Earth orbit where the Earth's magnetosphere provides some protection from radiation, exposure has been somewhat limited. But with future astronauts traveling to destinations like the Moon and Mars, radiation exposure will once again be at the forefront of study. To help us prepare for these dangerous space missions, NASA, in cooperation with the Brookhaven National Laboratory, is conducting research to help us understand the biological effects of space radiation. I spoke with Dr. Marcelo Vasquez at the NASA Space Radiation Laboratory here in Long Island, New York, to find out more.
Well, basically, I'm interested to find out if a galactic cosmic ray can kill brain cells. So in order to understand that, we have different models. For example, culture cells and petri dishes, expose them to cosmic rays and see if the cosmic ray can kill brain cells or produce some functional damage. That's one part of my research. The other part is study animals. If after cosmic ray radiation, they have some kind of behavioral changes or functional changes after long terms after exposure. Basically, we want to try to understand the risk for astronauts for neurological damage induced by cosmic rays.
So how is galactic cosmic radiation different from other types of radiation?
Basically, we can say that the origin of these galactic cosmic rays are far, far away from us, outside our galaxy. Basically, supernovas well beyond our galaxy explode and produce this kind of tremendous release of energy, and that energy is cosmic rays. So cosmic rays are basically atoms, elements, that travel in the space near the speed of light. And one of the big unknowns is what kind of biological effect this cosmic ray can produce on astronauts. And this is really important for the new exploration mission to go back to the Moon and go to Mars. So our concern is that those cosmic rays, those atoms that are flying out through the universe, they have the potential to produce damage. So one of the goals is try to find out what is the best strategies to reduce the risk for astronauts, for example, for Mars mission and Moon outposts and sorties. There's several ways to can protect, and we believe that this radiation risk is not a showstopper for astronauts, but there's a lot of unknowns, and that we need to reduce those unknowns in order to send astronauts in a safe way. But no matter what, astronauts with the best shielding, the best strategy, always will be exposed to some level of radiation.
How do you simulate galactic cosmic radiation on Earth?
We have what is called the NASA Space Radiation Laboratory. It's a facility to simulate the space radiation environment for biology or material sciences. So we have at Brookhaven big machines called particle accelerators. We benefit for that because they can accelerate cosmic rays like iron or carbon to the speed and energy that you will encounter in space. So these big machines deliver in a controlled fashion those heavy ions or charged particles to a target room. And so we can put cells, tissues on molecules in our target area and expose to those cosmic rays to understand what are the basic mechanisms. So the NASA have a research program addressing different topics like brain damage, cancer, DNA damage, repair. It's a multi-user facility dedicated to support the NASA Radiation Health Program.
How will biological research assist us in keeping our astronaut crews safe?
The first step is to understand the mechanism. So imagine this. These heavy particles traveling out through your body traverse your cells, your skin, your brain, or liver. And we know for the fact, by our basic research, that when these particles traverse a cell, produce DNA molecule damage.
Ionizing radiation is a stream of particles that, when passing through a body, has enough energy to cause the atoms to lose electrons. These heavy ions can damage living cells and may cause changes in the cell's ability to carry out repair and reproduction. This could lead to mutations in an astronaut's cells, which may result in tumors, cancer, genetic defects in offspring, or even death. By one NASA estimate, for each year an astronaut spends in deep space, about 1/3 of their cell nuclei will be hit directly with heavy ions. With this knowledge in hand, a big push is on to better understand exactly how to properly protect our new exploration crews. Can you tell me the risks of long-term exposure versus short-term exposure?
Overall, NASA is concerned what is the total risk imposed by solar particle events that will be acute, so a really high dose of radiation delivered in a short period of time. But the good news is that we know how to protect astronauts for that. But one of the big risks is the chronic low-dose exposure to galactic cosmic rays, and we still are thinking what is the best way to protect astronauts for that kind of risk.
In one study, it was determined that an astronaut on a 900-day Mars mission housed inside a conventional spacecraft would encounter nearly 1.1 sieverts of radiation. That is the equivalent to the amount of radiation one would be exposed to in 550 years on Earth. So what does the future hold for this type of research?
Well, I think it's a bright future because for NASA and the plans to return to the moon and go to Mars, radiation is a really, really critical risk to need to be studied. So our research will play a critical role for future plans.